Good morning in TGIF. It is Friday, April 3rd, and today we're going to be talking about Civil War and what are some steps that we can take to ever prevent that Civil War from erupting. So the prompt was, are my plans at war with my other plans? And Martin Luther King Jr. once said, there is something of a civil war going on within all of our lives. Or as Ryan Holiday puts it, a war inside each individual between the good parts and the bad parts of the soul. So think about that as like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other, constantly jockeying for your attention. I mean, we know what we want or how we would want to respond in certain situations, but then circumstances arise that knock us off our intended course. I mean, think about all those New Year's resolutions where you had the best intent, but then a birthday party comes about, and next thing you know, you find yourself face first down in the birthday cake. Marcus goes on to say, if you don't have a consistent goal in life, you can't live it in a consistent way. So the first step is the goal definition. What does an ideal outcome look like? What do I need to get me there? So what are those processes that I need in place? But the core issue is actually the definition and the embracement of your identity, and not the identity of who you are today, but who you want to be. In his book Atomic Habits, the author James Clear talks about how the biggest barrier to positive change at any level, whether that's individual, team, society, is identity conflict, and that your habits are how you embody your identity. I have a feeling that we're going to talk about the habits and the processes in another chat. We just don't have time to get into that, but that's an area that is essential to this whole concept and the glue that really holds it together. The ultimate form of intrinsic motivation, he says, is when a habit becomes part of your identity. So we have to define what that looks like first. And if you've heard of the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, she talks about the concept of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So an example would be of a fixed mindset: I'm monolinguistic, I'm just not good at speaking other languages. Whereas a growth mindset would be, with the right system in place, I could learn to speak another language. My buddy Jimmy Haugen mentioned a concept to me the other day called infinite mindset, which I think takes it even a step further, and where I want to challenge us to go. That extension of that example would be, with the right motivation and the right system in place, I could learn to be conversational in Mandarin within the span of a year. Now, that's aspirational and that's concrete. So, I mentioned that I like to talk to myself a lot. I like to remind myself of certain things throughout the day. And a really powerful exercise is to sit down with pen and paper and define your identity. And start with the prompt, I am the type of person that ... And remember, this is infinite mindset. So when I worked on this over Christmas break, it was, I am the type of person that does not hit the snooze button when my alarm goes off and starts every day early. I'm the type of person that carves out space and time for self-reflection, for personal growth, whether that's in philosophy, language, or music. Type of person that dedicates time each day to physical movement and exercise, that avoids fast food and prioritizes nutrition and plans ahead. I'm the type of person that pauses to allow for space between stimulus and response. I'm the type of person that doesn't drink alcohol. I'm the type of person that chooses to consume stimulating, beneficial material over mindless, unproductive content. Now, this is not easy. This is something that we continually have to work on. I mean, I'm still trying to decide who I want to be when I grow up. So there's a lot of areas that I'm still working on here. I mean, examples of that, just being completely transparent, is I'm the type of person who is passionate about the work that he does. I'm the type of person who leads with love instead of fear. I'm the type of person who prioritizes relationships above all else, looking for ways to be a better husband, son, father, brother, friend to those that I know and those that I don't know. I think that this is a really good opportunity for us to use this time to further define who we want to be, so that we can then build in the systems that help us to get to where we've defined our goals to ultimately reside. So when we think about the Civil War, think about the definition of that identity, not where you are today, but where you want to be. Anyways, I hope you found this useful, and we'll talk again later. Thanks. Bye.